How important is that championship to you? You've accomplished so much. Where is that in terms of your desire and motivation?
Honestly, it's. I think this time of the year, everybody's going to say they want to win a championship. Everybody's going to say the same thing. It's not like live or die, to be honest. I love playing the game of basketball. I love having fun. I love using this platform to do other things. And winning a championship is very difficult and very hard, and a lot of things.
Nikola, welcome back. First and foremost, this is now your 10th media day of your career. It's a round number. Like, what do you remember about maybe your first or second media day coming around here? Just has anything changed at all?
No, every year is the same thing, and I don't know why we're doing it every year. Everything is the same, completely the same thing. So,
has maybe your perspective on the NBA and just your place in the NBA changed?
I mean, of course, I was younger when back in the day. Everything was new for me, so now I kind of learn everything and I know what's going to happen. So maybe I'm not going to say I'm not that stressed, nervous.
Nikola, on your right. Last year, obviously, the season goes so long, but it ends with the parade, so you don't have as much time at home. I know you were kind of maybe on the fence about Olympics, but after doing it and shortening your summer by being there, how much did you appreciate that experience, and will it help you into this season?
I mean, of course, I'm not going to say it didn't take away nothing from me, because I really enjoyed playing for national team, playing for my friends, represent my country, represent hometown, city, family, you know. So I think it's a great experience, and I think every player who has opportunity to do that should do it. It's a completely different competition, tournament, however you want to call it. And, you know, it's basically every game matters. If you lose, you go home. So I think it's really, really interesting, and especially for the players that can do that, I advise them to do it.
Nikola, one thing that has changed on Media Day, you have a very strong beard or goatee. I was wondering if you're planning on keeping that, and do you like the menacing look?
I need more compliments, Marlon, more compliments.
To scare the opposition.
Yes, that's changed, yeah. But it's going to go probably away pretty soon.
Nikola, what is your relationship with Russell Westbrook coming into this season like? When did you guys really get to know each other, and what do you think he's bringing to the team?
I mean, of course, we didn't have a good relationship on the court. We were fighting a lot and talking back and forth, but I know who he is a little bit outside of the court, so great teammate, vocal leadership, the guy who want to listen, the guy who want to follow in the gym. So I think he's a great player for us, and I think he's going to bring us all the good stuff.
From the outside, Nikola, in these interactions, it does seem like you've gotten, in my opinion, more serious over the years.
Me?
Yeah. Would you agree with that assessment of yourself? Do you feel like you're maybe more of a serious, like you used to play around with the microphone a lot, you loved that stuff. In my opinion, you seem like a more serious guy. Is that an accurate description of you?
Yeah. Why so serious?
It's a real question.
It's not that funny, right? I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm serious or not. Maybe a little bit. You know, I'm older, almost 30, so that's my answer.
Nikola, coach talked about motivation about after last season, but what's your main motivation this season to, you know, improve everything? What's your first thought to be better and, you know, improve all the team?
I mean, maybe not motivation, but just like don't regret it. Respect the good team that you are on, and because it can flip so easy and so quick. So just to respect and enjoy in the team and the collective that we have and what we build. So, and just to try to grow if it's possible. That's my motivation.
Nikola, it was right here. It was good seeing you in Paris. It's even better talking to you now.
Yeah, we talk about a lot, you
know? Compare your emotions to winning bronze with your country to, say, winning a championship with this team. How was it similar? How was it different?
I mean, it's a similar and a different to winning something for the first time ever for this organization and for me myself. And of course, playing for national team, it's unique emotions, unique feeling, playing with your friends that you grow up basically playing against them since you're 13, 14, 15, and knew them since you're 13, 14, 15, and now you're competing for national team against on Olympic against the best teams in the world. So it's a similar and different and kind of, you know.
All right, I want to ask you one more thing about Paris, if I can. Since my friends in the media wanted to know, I told them you didn't talk because you didn't have to.
Yes.
Did you feel any responsibility to talk as a representative? You're a three-time MVP, and you're a face of the NBA. Yeah.
No.
Nikola, I guess, how nice was it to see Jamal Murray get locked up, sign this extension, and how nice is it just to maybe play with him this season when he's more healthy?
Yes, I mean, I play with him. He's my partner. I said that he's my partner in crime, and we played through a lot, and we had some big wins, some big losses, and I was happy that he stayed with us, and hopefully we're going to do some more history together, let's say like that.
Nikola, sorry to go back to the Olympics one more time, but you guys were part of a couple of pretty memorable games there, from the Australia one to obviously the U.S. game. Other than not having to talk to the media, is there a moment or anything that you will think of when you kind of look back on that Olympic experience going forward?
I mean, we had the biggest comeback in history Olympic Games against Australia. We had, of course, really good game against USA. We had a really good parade, not parade, how you call it, celebration. You know, just a relationship with the friends that I have there. It's I'm going to remember that probably.
Nikola, up here. Sorry. You say that, hey, this is the same sort of routine. Preseason's the same. Regular season's the same. I am curious, when do things get interesting for you in an NBA season?
But it's interesting. That's why it's the same. But every year you're trying to be better, and every year all 30 teams wants to get better, and some of them do, some they don't get better. So just because I don't smile or don't laugh and don't whatever doesn't mean that I'm not excited. You know, I'm excited to see what we can do. So I'm excited. I just don't show it.
Nikola, is there anything that you guys can take away from the way the season ended up last year that you guys can apply to this year and going forward? You know, just kind of day by day.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think about something that happened like 3, 4 months, 5 months ago. You know, it happens. We had a game 7, we lost it. We had a big lead. You know, but that's why basketball is an amazing sport, and it's a live thing that it can change in every possible way. So, can we change something? Probably yes. Now, when we think about it, maybe we can do something different. But I'm not going to think about it now after five months.
Nikola, if there's one thing you would like to see Christian Braun do better this season or different this season, what would it be?
I don't know. I think he's playing really good. You know, he's doing everything what we ask him to do. He's not afraid of the moment. He's playing hard. He's playing defense. He's running the floor. So be smart with the decisions. Let's say like that. Be a little bit more smarter with decisions. Always a pleasure, guys.
Russ, welcome.
Damn.
Welcome to Denver, Russ.
Thanks, man.
Your coach and your general manager have already spoken about the kind of impact you're going to have on the team's work ethic and attitude. I'm curious what you think about your on-court role with the Denver Nuggets.
Just compete, play hard, lead. I have many traits, and leadership is probably the one I really enjoy doing most on and off the floor. And leadership is something that can transpire through a locker room, through a culture, through an organization. And on the floor, that's primarily where I will lean into more.
Russ, what made Denver a destination that you wanted to end up in this summer?
Just a culture, looking out, from outside looking in. Team has always been at the top of the Western Conference. Always in the hunt to win a championship, always play the right brand of basketball. I'm always, at this stage of my career looking to play the right way regardless of the wins or losses, understanding that playing the proper brand of basketball allows everyone to kind of get involved, allows the team to grow, and also allows you to be able to win at the highest level. And the Nuggets, has been doing that for years, and I'm grateful to be here.
Hey, Ross. Welcome. You have played with a lot of talented guys all in your career, but what are your thoughts about, of course, Nikola Jokic before you played with him? Have you talked to him? What do you think? What are your expectations to be with him in the court?
Honestly, just to be on the floor with him is a grateful honor, and I'm grateful for that. He does so many different things on the floor that allows other people to be great, and I'm just happy to be able to be a part and not playing against him or scouting against him, and I'm able to kind of see his greatness up close and see the things he's able to do, not just on the court but off the floor as well, and I'm grateful for that.
Russell, you talked about the culture here. I'm curious if there was anyone on the team that you spoke to in the offseason to kind of get a feel or a read on what it's like here.
I talked to a multitude of people, but primarily I talk to DJ a lot. Me and DJ are close, and we talk about a lot of different things, but the culture and how things were here. He kind of springboarded that conversation, and from then on, I kind of talked to everybody else as well.
Russ, Calvin Booth was saying that you maybe had a relationship with Nikola. That's kind of been the talk. Where does that stem from? What's it been like to get to know him over the years?
I think just competing at the highest level, respect level, I think, I had an utmost respect for Nikola and the things he's been able to do in his game thus far. And I think it's vice versa. And us having that allows us to, mesh immediate conversations, understanding what it takes to win. And obviously he's won a championship, so he knows exactly what it takes to win. And I'm here to be able to hopefully bring another one here.
Well, Russ, on that right here, how important is that championship to you? You've accomplished so much.
Yeah.
Where is that in terms of your desire and motivation?
Honestly, it's. I think this time of the year, everybody's going to say they want to win a championship. Everybody's going to say the same thing. It's not like live or die, to be honest. I love playing the game of basketball. I love having fun. I love using this platform to do other things. And winning a championship is very difficult and very hard, and a lot of things have to go your way. I think long as we, as a team, put our best foot forward, we can live with the results. And if that's the championship, then I'm grateful for that. And if it's not, I'm also grateful for the opportunity and being able to learn through a process that, you may not be able to encounter for years.
Russell.
What's that? It's my dog.
Russell, two of the things that, the Nuggets kind of missed last year was rim pressure, off the dribble, in half court, and rim pressure in transition. When you make the decision, kind of in free agency, did that play into it? Well, and because those are two things that you have done, traditionally over the course of your career, that those are kind of some of the strengths of your game.
Yes, and also just understanding, what the team and the coaches will ask of me. That conversation is yet to kind of be had, but I do know some of my strengths and things I can bring to a team. And rim pressure, not just for scoring, but pace and understanding I can get in the paint to create for other people, to me is what I'm most likely looking forward to.
Russ, you had a very busy offseason with Westbrook Academy. Can you just explain to a lot of people what that process was about?
It's years in the making, man. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to bring a school, not just for kids, but for families, wraparound services to the South LA area, growing up in the inner city of Los Angeles, being able to make an impact in other ways, but education is a huge part of, the underserved community, especially in Los Angeles. And I'm just grateful and happy that all the kids are able to kind of endure all the different services that we do have at Westbrook Academy. And I'm grateful for for the future to come and more to come, for those students. And, it's a blessing to be able to do something like that, especially in Los Angeles.
Russ, here on your right, how do you see your role on this team? And I guess, has it been a fun challenge as your career, you get up there in years and it changes what's asked of you and you have to figure out how you fit in best versus, when you're winning MVPs and running the show?
Yeah, man, I'm a team guy. Whatever the coach asks of me, that's what I'll do. So whatever that is, and we practice tomorrow, we get closer to the season, whatever my role is, whatever is needed for me to be able to win games, that's what I'll do.
Hey, Russell, like Kobe Bryant in the past, you've always been kind of public enemy number one in the Denver area in terms of fans love and hate. What's it going to be like playing in front of a Denver crowd that will pump you up?
I don't know. I don't know if it's public enemy number one. I think this is how I look at it. Over my course of my career, I've been booed and all that stuff everywhere else, but I take it as a sign of respect. Just like the late Kobe Bryant. When people boo you, they understand it's a level of respect, and it's a reason. If people don't say anything, then you should be worried. And for me, I take it as a level of respect, and I'm grateful now to be a part of the loud and yell and screaming. And my job is to make them scream louder and have fun and enjoy the game. So.
Russell, joining a point guard room with Jamal Murray, just what are those conversations? What are those moments, like on and off the court, do you think are going to be like just with somebody as competitive as him and as you?
It's going to be great. My job is to be able to push Jamal to be the best he can be and play the highest level he can. He's an unbelievable player, and he still has so much room to get better in a lot of areas, and I'm grateful to be able to be here, to be able to help him along the journey, and vice versa. I'm always open and understanding and be able to learn from other guys as well, because that's how you expand your game. That's how you stay around longer, and I'm grateful and looking forward for the opportunity.
Russ, we just saw Peyton called you his idol.
Yeah.
How excited are you to tap into his potential and be around him a lot more as Cali guys?
Very excited. Peyton is excited. He's young. He's ready to compete, and my job is to be able to teach him some of the things I've learned over the years, understanding how important it is to be able to not take a day, a game, a practice for granted, and understanding how important this part of his life is, and having an opportunity to be able to play in the NBA and understanding what that entails for him and his family. And I'm going to tap into him all areas, not just basketball, but life. And that's a part of leadership as well. So.
You've touched on the leadership aspect a couple times. This is a pretty young roster in a lot of areas with guys who were even growing up watching you play earlier in your career. What's it kind of just been like to be around all those guys so far, even at workouts in that kind of setting? And
it's good. It's probably this is probably last year, not so much. This year is probably the first time I've heard a lot of different stories from some of the young guys of when they saw me play when they were in high school or when they saw me play years ago. So hearing some of those stories is, one, inspiring for me. I love to just know and understand and understand people's journey and how, their why. So it just gives me more confidence, and it pumps me up more to be able to tap into them more and lead them in a way that they've never been led before. So,
Russ, have you
over here?
Yeah. Russ, have you and Nikola talked about the triple-double race at all? How do you anticipate your game meshing in that regard?
No, we have not. Have not had a conversation about it, and I don't know if there's a race or not, but we have not talked about it at all. Nikola is, the best player in the world, and he's playing at the highest level, and all we care about, and he'd probably tell you the same, is winning basketball games, and that's it.
Russ, you talked about mentoring Peyton and trying to help him along and teach him about the game and life. Did you have a player when you came into the NBA that helped you along, that showed you the way, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Oklahoma, Nick Collison was, we're still friends to this day, helped me in so many different ways. And, you know, he probably doesn't even know this, but just off the floor, how he manages everything else besides basketball allowed me to be able to be, you know, a good basketball player at the time. And I'm grateful for him and his knowledge that he shared with me as a young player coming into the league.
Awesome. You're glad you're not scouting against Nikola anymore.
Yep.
What was the experience of trying to scout him like on previous teams that you've been?
Good luck. That's it. You just hope that he missed, or I hope it's nothing you can do, which is, you know, you want to be able to be on the team with somebody that's literally unguardable, and I'm grateful to be on this team. So.
You're known as pretty intense.
Yeah.
Have you mellowed at all over the years, or are you going to rage to your last breath?
Let me think. I'm never changing. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to change anything about me. My intensity, and I think that the people confuse like intensity with competitiveness. And like when I compete, like I don't know, when I'm on the floor, I don't want to be walking around shaking hands, kissing babies. I don't really want to do that. I'm there to, excuse my language, but kick some ass. And besides off the floor, I'm chill, I'm mellow. I'm not as intense as you may think. I just like to have a good time and have fun. But when I am competing, I want to compete at the highest level, and that part of me will never change as long as I'm competing in this game, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and, you know, the rest will go in history.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Priority is always trying to get our new guys acclimated as quickly as possible. Russell Westbrook, Dario Saric. Having a great training camp. We have 4 days of practice before we head over to Abu Dhabi. And then getting off to a great start. You know, I think it's so important for us to attack October, attack November, and start to feel good about ourselves. You know, get that confidence back. Just met with the team for around 25 minutes and talked about a lot of things last season, this season. And the interesting thing is this. When you win a championship and you don't repeat, everybody says you failed. So that like the pressure of that is immense. And obviously no one's done that since Golden State in 2017 and 18. And I went back and looked at all the teams since then that won it and what happened the next year. And we probably had one of the best seasons you could have while not winning it. And obviously difficult loss in the second round, and hopefully we've all used that as motivation to come back better individually and collectively. But I think the group is excited. We've had a really good off season, and I think everyone's excited to get started tomorrow.
I know you're one for reflection, obviously, after last season. Just in all of the conversations that you've had with the coaching staff, with the players, with the front office, just what's something that you're looking to improve, something that maybe didn't happen last year that you can translate to this season?
Oh, there's a lot of room for improvement. You know, that's the great thing about it. You tie a franchise record, 57 wins. You know, but you can improve across the board. You know, we were 11-11 in games decided by 5 points or less. We were third place in our division, the toughest division in the league, behind Minnesota and OKC. Our win percentage against playoff teams wasn't where it needs to be. We dominated the teams below 500, but we can do a better job of winning and beating the great teams. Our rebounding, you know, we have to be a much better defensive rebounding team, which I think will help us become a better running team. 2 years ago, we were top 5 in transition offense. Last year, we were 17th. And it can't be just because we have Russell Westbrook now, we're going to be a better running team. We all have to share in that. We're a top 10 three-point shooting team, but we were last in attempts. How can we generate more open looks, more looks? And the reality is, if Jamal Murray takes one more three per game, Michael Porter takes one more three per game, Nikola takes one more three per game, we go from 30th to 15th. So I know a lot is made of that, and the number we shot last year was the same exact number that we shot the year before. But we have shooting, we have really good shooters. So let's try to get 35, 36 threes up per game, as long as they're the right types of threes. But yeah, there's so much room for improvement. And the one thing on the flip side of that, Ryan, is reminding our guys of just how dominant of a team we've been. After a season where everybody says you failed, we're a good team. Last 6 years, no one in the West has come close to doing what we've done. And remind yourself of that, but also challenge yourself to not be satisfied, but to push yourself and push your teammate to become even better. And I look forward to building on what we've done the last 6 seasons and trying to win another championship.
Coach, over here. Big announcement this morning with 9 News, the partnership over the air for 20 games on, over the air. How big is that for the Nuggets fans to be able to see some more games on television?
It's huge news, great news, and obviously I know it's something that Josh and the entirety of KSC have been working very hard on for a long time now. And as you mentioned, the most important part of that is for our fans. I feel we have the best fans in the NBA. And they've been a huge part of our success. And now the fact that our fans can watch the Nuggets play is going to be great, because that's one thing you hear as you walk or drive around town, is that there's people that haven't been able to watch the Nuggets or the Avalanche. And obviously both teams are in the middle of historic runs with great players, and we want our fans to see as many games as possible. So I thought that was great news.
Coach, the young guys are going to be important this year. Everybody says it. Christian Payton and Julian Strawther. How much improvement can you expect from each of those guys? Can they improve each one by 10% or 20%? Do you ever think of it like that?
I never think about it from a percentage standpoint, Chris. But obviously, with losing KCP is a big loss. But now you have 2 guys in Christian Brown and Julian Strawther who are more than ready and willing and able to take over that opportunity. You mentioned Peyton Watson and the season that he had. So I don't know what the percentage of improvement is, but the most important thing is they have improved, and more importantly, we need them to continue to improve. Julian Strawther was in the gym every day this summer, every day. And the guy was a workhorse. And to see what he did last year in the first 40 games before he got hurt, what he did in Summer League before he hurt his ankle, and in this gym, leads me to believe that he's poised and ready to have a really good second season. Christian Brown, the guy helped us win a championship as a rookie. You know what you get from him every single night. And he's another guy that was in the gym a ton this summer. And same with Peyton Watson. Peyton's ability to impact the game on both ends of the floor. I saw a stat, his 88 blocks were, and coming off the bench, he's among the league leaders in blocks per game for a reserve player that's not really a big. So yes, those 3 guys are going to have a huge impact on this season, and look forward to helping them, continue their improvement.
Michael, when you're looking at who's going to be the starting shooting guard, what kind of things are you going to weigh?
Yeah, well, it's not just about, I think a lot of times it's just about, well, who had the better stats? I think anytime you look at a starting lineup, it's also got to be what complements the lineup. We already know that we have Jamal, Michael, Aaron, Nikola, pretty good 4-man unit. Which player is going to help complement the starters? Which player is going to help complement that second unit? But both Christian and Julian will get chances to be with both groups. And I never believe in just giving things away. I want guys to earn it, fight for it. And, Christian's done it. He started games. And obviously Julian, much younger, he'll have a chance as well. But, competition's healthy. And lucky for me, we have 2 young players who are going to make a very tough decision.
Coach, here. Welcome back. You mentioned twice the word failure. I don't want to know how do you use that? How do you use all the things that as you said, as a motivation and to tell the team to be better to this team?
Can you repeat that?
When you said the word failure twice, do you use that as an extra motivation? Do you use that for you as for the team and as an extra motivation to be better this season? Or do you think you're going to be like, relaxed about that and you just said that word and you just mentioned that here?
Well, the way I use the word failure is that from the outside, everybody views our season as a failure because we didn't win it. And that's, in one hand, it's a compliment because we've set the standard so high and we were the defending champions. But failure can be a motivation, but it can't be fatal. You have to learn from your failure. And it can motivate you to look deep within to find ways that you can be better across the board, organizationally, players, coaches, collectively. And anytime you come short of achieving your goals, you feel like you left something out there. And I just hope that our players have used that this offseason to force them to come back improved and with a mindset of let's attack this season. Not ease into it, but let's attack it and remind everybody of who we are and what we're capable of.
Michael, with as many young guys as you have on this roster, there are a lot of guys who grew up even watching Russell Westbrook kind of in his prime. I'm curious if he's had any early impact since signing with the team, just even in sort of a practice setting or whatever it may be. And have you had any sort of conversations with him about expectations for him this season, basically?
Yeah, no, I've met with Russ quite a bit, talked with him, great conversations. First and foremost, just have so much respect for his body of work. And, the only thing that he hasn't accomplished is winning an NBA championship. That's the only thing missing from a very, very impressive resume. And he saw something in this team, this group of players, this franchise, where he wanted to be a part of that. And that speaks to, what we have going on here. Russ was in the gym yesterday, and there was just a different energy. Can't explain it, but it's just his voice, his leadership, his intensity, his competitive spirit, I think are all things that are not only going to help this team, but I think he's going to really help individual players kind of achieve their potential and push them to be the best that they can be. So I love that he's here. I think Russell Westbrook, first ballot Hall of Famer. I love guys that bring it every single night, and that's what he's done every game he's ever played in.
I'm going to ask a little more directly. You're competitive. You've been in this business a long time, and you know the standards for coaches in terms of wins and losses. A lot's been made of the front office's movement towards addressing CBA challenges with young players, and then the competition with that with trying to win a title. What's your view on trying to approach this season and any potential disagreements or conflicts that there might be between your priorities as a coach and what the front office has to do?
Well, me, Calvin, Josh, I think as long as we're aligned and communicating and collaborating and also challenging each other, like Calvin and I shouldn't always agree. If we're always agreeing, then we're not really accomplishing what we need to accomplish. But through those disagreements and through those conversations, you come to a greater good. And this is a reality. I mean, like you look across the NBA landscape, teams are letting great players walk because they don't want to approach that really dirty word of second apron. And as a coach, I have to educate myself because I put blinders on. How do we win the game tonight? But I have to give respect to Calvin. I have to give respect to Josh and understand that it's more than just tonight. It's also a much bigger perspective on how we're going to be set up for success, not just tonight and this season, but for down the road. And all you ever want as a coach is to have the support from your front office and have the support from your ownership group. And I have that. I've had that from day one. And I feel very fortunate to have the relationship that I have with both Calvin and Josh because I've been around this game a long time, and I know that doesn't exist in a lot of places.
Coach, you've said a lot that dynasties aren't linear. You've brought up the Spurs in the past in terms of they've never won any. They didn't win back to back, but they won a number of championships over a number of periods of time. What does that look like for you if you guys are to kind of approach that kind of franchise with that kind of championship level staying power? And how important is that to you guys, going into to this year to kind of accomplish something like that?
Oh, it's really important. If you're not striving to be the best, what are now you're just wasting time. Like Moses Malone used to say, ain't no half-stepping. If you're going to do it, do it. And I think we have a locker room of 21 players down there, excited for camp, but also excited for what the season holds. And, Jamal Murray said something really interesting. Like, he reminded his teammates, don't take this for granted. Like, we have a championship window. Not every team has a championship window. And what do? Do you take advantage of that, or do you look back in 20 years and have regrets? And the vibe and feel I get from our players is that they tasted success. They tasted being feeling what it's like to be on that mountaintop. We were knocked off last year. So, let's get back up. Don't feel sorry for ourselves and continue to work. But I made the point about San Antonio because everybody wants to repeat, but they never did that. But they had a standard of excellence year in and year out. When you ask anybody in the NBA community, they'll say, hell yeah. San Antonio definitely had a dynasty. And, you want to be remembered as a team that achieved greatness. And hopefully we can do that. That's our goal this year. And I'm excited to start this journey with everybody in this building pulling in the same direction.
Coach, back here. What position is Peyton? And I don't mean like shooting guard, small forward. I mean like on offense, is he, along the perimeter, or is he in that dunker spot? On defense, do you see him more up top, guarding point of attack, or do you want him a little bit closer to the rim as that secondary shot blocker?
All the above, and the reason I say that is because in today's NBA, I think versatility is such a key word. And so you talk about Peyton offensively. Can he play along the dunker and mimic what Aaron Gordon does with Nikola? Of course he can, and I think he's going to get better and better at that. Can he be a guy that catches on the perimeter and go and catch and attack the rim? We were, I think, 29th in free throw attempts a game last year. Peyton Watson should be living at the foul line. He has to have that attack mindset. He shot around 29 from three last year, and we have a goal for him this year to be obviously 35 or higher. Lofty goal. He's put the time in. He's put the reps in. And if teams are going to leave him open, he's got to make them pay. Defensively, what I love about Peyton is he can guard Steph Curry one night. He can guard Kevin Durant the next night. He can guard Karl Anthony Towns maybe the night after. And so I think it's my job to put him on the best matchup for us. Who can he go out there and stop? And I think it's important for Peyton to continue to work on his offensive craft, but always come into every game thinking, how can I dominate defensively? Because when he does that, that ignites our break, and that's when I think we're at our best. I think Peyton's offensive and defensive versatility is very impressive, and you'll see him probably all over the court doing a lot of everything this year.
Coach, staying on the topic of defense, you mentioned the absence of KCP. Last couple of years, you've had the luxury of being able to assign him to the best guard on the other team. How do you envision it working now? Who guards Steph Curry, John Morant, the smaller guards? You have a number of guards that are eligible. How do you see that working out, guarding a smaller guy?
Yeah, well, I think, just look at the job Christian Brown did in the playoffs. I thought Christian's defense on Anthony Edwards, one of the tougher perimeter players in the league, was really impressive. So I think Christian Brown has shown and proven to me that he's willing to take on that responsibility. It's funny, I think when people talk about Russell Westbrook, no one really mentions defense. They mention how quick he is, how explosive he is, the rebounding, the playmaking. When we went back and watched as a staff his defense last year with the Clippers, end of games, he was on the opposing team's best player every night. Every night. So you have a guy that you can close games with in Russell Westbrook, who knows the league, knows personnel, has a respect of the officials, and has a competitive. I'm going to get you, and other people as well. We talked about Peyton Watson being a guy that can guard bigs and smalls, and I've seen Jamal Murray be a guy when locked in can be a great defender. So it's going to take all of us. You know, I'm not going to put it on just one player. We were a top 8 defense last year. Our goal this year is to be top 3, and I think we have that within us.
Michael, this is 10 years with the Denver Nuggets, a lot accomplished there, but I imagine it's a double-edged sword. How do you concern yourself at all with keeping the message fresh and not letting the room get stale? And as a second point, is there anything with the team where you look at, even though we've had success, for the sake of keeping things fresh, let's try to add new wrinkles, new roles and responsibilities to different guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the same coach I was 10 years ago when I first got here. And one thing that we always do, Adam, is that we take a deep dive and look within after each season, try to identify whatever blind spots we may have, but also trying to find ways to keep things fresh for Nikola, for Jamal, 10 years, 9 years, for Michael, for Aaron, guys that have been here, expanding packages, creating new packages, trying new things defensively, coming up with new drills in practice. And what also helps is as you bring in new players, like a Deron Holmes, like a Trey Alexander, Russell Westbrook, Dario Saric, I think new blood comes in here also allows you to kind of keep it fresh somewhat. So, yeah, I think I hate monotony. I hate doing the same thing every day. And I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to challenge ourselves to keep things as fresh as possible, but by also not losing sight of how and why we've been so successful. And our culture has kind of been a mainstay. That hasn't changed. The people around it, the philosophies on offense and defense may change, but at the end of the day, at our core, we have to maintain our Denver Nuggets culture and be disciplined and adhere to that. Thanks, everybody.
Everything's good. All good.
Aaron, might as well start with this. You are eligible for an extension starting tomorrow. I'm just kind of curious where you kind of feel like you're at in terms of how eager you are to get that done, or what your perspective is on it.
Well, I really love this organization. I love the players on this team. Love the coaching staff. So I hope we get it done. Seems like it's moving forward in the right direction. So I'm excited. I'm excited, hopefully, to be extended and stay with this organization.
Aaron, you've talked plenty since you got here about how close this team is. I know a lot of times you can kind of be the ringleader, getting guys to come hang out with you and stuff. So when you have such a tragedy that affects you personally, how beneficial has it been to be around those guys throughout the offseason, and then now to be around everybody, know you're going to be with them, and y'all can focus on ball, and that can, support you?
Yeah, I mean, without getting too much into it, I always leaned on my brother, and sometimes the relationships that I had outside of my own family were not as deep, and now that I understand that you can't take any relationship for granted. These guys have been there for me every step of the way. They came to his service, they came to his funeral, and these guys have been really, really super supportive for me, and love them for that. These guys have really developed into people that I would call my own brother. These are my brothers.
Aaron, that specific relationship with Mike, just the two of you sharing the floor for as long as you have, just how do you think you two have grown together ever since coming here to Denver, and just what have you learned about him that you've appreciated so much?
Yeah, I think that's my main target. I'm pretty sure. I think I have the most assists to Mike, so I'm looking for him. He's such a weapon out there on the floor, and then off the floor, he's been through so much, and I respect him as a ball player, and I think our relationship will continue far after basketball. So it's fun to play with, and he's fun to be with off the floor as well.
Aaron, I saw a video of you recently. You were just raining down jumpers all over the court in a gym. Was that a particular focus for you in the offseason to improve your mid-range and improve your three-point shooting?
Oh, most definitely. You know, I'm very proud of the work that I put in this year. And I'm going to shoot the ball very confidently. We need me to space the floor, everybody to space the floor, give everybody room to operate. So I'm excited. I'm excited to show off what I've been working on.
Aaron, Russ is obviously an intense guy, pushes the pace, energy. What are you specifically looking forward to about playing with him?
Yeah, just the energy. He's a hell of a competitor. You want him on your side, and I'm glad we got him. He brings it every single night. His playmaking ability is up there with the greats. I mean, dude's a legend. He's Hall of Famer. It's great having that energy around. And, he just like to take no prisoners, no mercy, us versus them. I love that mentality, so I'm ready to go to war with them.
AG, what do you think is the most important lesson the team collectively needs to learn from coming up short last year?
I think just to finish, that's the first word that comes to mind. I kind of like equate it to like running track or something like that. You got to finish through the tape. You got to finish through the line and kind of duck through. Don't lift up and look around before it's done, before the race is over.
Aaron, not to dig too deep on it, but how did the idea to change the number to honor your brother, how did that come to you? Was it suggested? Did it come up in conversation with somebody, or did it just come to you on your own?
No, I think it was pretty natural. It makes sense. I think my entire family has grown up like wearing 32. It's almost like an ode to Magic Johnson as well. That was one of my dad's favorite players growing up, and it's my brother's favorite number, my dad's favorite number. My sister played in it in college. I played it in high school. It's my brother's favorite, so it feels like home.
Aaron, I know that there's been a lot of strain put on you at certain times to kind of take on the double role of being a backup center a little bit in addition to playing with the starting unit. What does the addition of Dario Saric maybe do for you in terms of potentially being able to lighten some of that in certain spots, if it's a game where you might normally be used in extra roles, I guess?
Yeah, I'm so excited to play with Dario. He's a hell of a talent. So versatile, does a multitude of things on the floor, can pass the ball, can shoot the ball, can score the ball, can defend, can play big, can play small. He's a huge contribution to this team. I don't think you guys understand how big of an impact that he will have on this team, playing that backup center and playing that backup floor. He's going to be fighting for minutes, man. He's going to be fighting and scrapping for minutes, and you guys are going to see, I think, his playing time increase throughout the year.
Aaron, this summer you let the fans into your world a little bit, selling some clothes out of your closet, the cologne. How did that idea come about? What were you hoping to accomplish with it? And were you just trying to score some Mr. Nugget points there, or what? What was going on?
No, it's a lot more simple than that. It's just like a yard sale. That's it, dude. That's it. It did. Everybody has yard sales, and it just happened to get a little out of hand. I had some stuff in my closet from like my Orlando days. And I was like, this is horrible. This is terrible. I'm sure somebody might like it, but I don't. But it was cool just to invite everybody into kind of like my lounge downtown. Sign autographs and just be around the community. It's a great community, so they've accepted me, and I'm just grateful for it.
Aaron, obviously, last couple of years, KCP's been one of your guys. Team's going on without him now. Just what advice could you give to maybe Christian or Julian or maybe one of the guys that kind of have to step into that starting spot, and just how much of a burden that can be for a young guy?
Yeah, play defense first and foremost. Shoot when you're open. I think those two things probably keep it really simple. You got Nikola Jokic, you got Jamal Murray, you got Michael Porter Jr., you got myself. I mean, there's only one ball, bro. So just shoot when you're open, lock up on defense, and I contributed to winning the championship in those ways.
AG, what inspires you? Like even coming into this year, what inspires you? And has that changed even in your years just in Denver?
Not really. Winning inspires me. Winning inspires me for sure. And then what really inspires me is my people, my partners, my team, my brothers, and when the days that are hard, that's what gets me out of bed. I think Nikola Jokic is probably going to go down as one of the best to ever play the game. So, working my tail off, working my ass off, so he can maximize his time in the NBA. Same thing with Russ. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer too. So doing whatever I can to try and get him a ring, and just holding up my end of the bargain. So at the end of the day, these guys win too. And I think that's what really inspires me.
So Nikola said that he wasn't motivated by the way the season ended. He doesn't look back to 4 or 5 months ago, but Mike said he certainly was, especially with his struggles in the Minnesota series. So can you look at the way the season ended, not being able to repeat? Can you feel that as a motivation for the group, even if Nikola downplays it?
Yeah, I think so. I think in that last game, that Game 7, I didn't like our focus coming out of halftime, just really being completely locked in through the entirety of a series and closing it out, and not letting go of the rope, even though we're up 20, So, I just always think back to like Kobe talking about jobs not finished, and kind of having more of that mentality.
Great here. First and foremost, you talk about Joker and Russ as Hall of Famers. To be a Hall of Famer, you got to have great talent. But what else is there about a Hall of Fame player that, I don't know, maybe you can learn from or absorb or benefit from?
Yes, it's the belief that they have in themselves. I think everybody is very talented and everybody's very skilled. In this league, everybody that's ever touched this league is very talented and skilled, but it's the unwavering belief that they have in their own abilities that sets them apart.
Aaron, as an appreciator of Nikola Jokic and his game, what was going through your head watching, if you did watch the Serbia-US game in the Olympics, and how they kind of took him wire to wire in that?
I was really torn. I was asked if I wanted to play for USA, and then the call never came around. So there was a little bit of salt there in the first place, and then just to see Yoke take him to the wire like that, it's like, this is dope. You know what I mean? Like, the dude on my team is finna just wash these cats. But all that being said, America.
Good to see you, Mike. I guess for starters, just how have you tried to, spend your time this offseason? Have there been any priorities in your game when you've been in the gym?
I've been doing some traveling, but for the most part, I've stayed put and just been in the gym in LA for a good portion of it. And just been working on a lot of different things, but playing a lot of one-on-one, figuring out different stuff I can get to comfortably in the mid-range, things like that.
Mike, a lot of fans during the offseason, they see the open runs that happen, and they saw you going up against guys like Chet Holmgren and others in the offseason. How competitive can those get? Is that something where we as fans or media don't necessarily know as much about what goes into those? How can that sort of be competitive?
I mean, it's just like the type of basketball we played growing up. It's a bunch of dudes that are talented, but there's no play calls. It's just play and pick up. You get to work on your game. and it's a bunch of really good players going at it. So those are always really, really fun runs. Yeah, I think CB is this working. Yeah, CB spent a lot of time playing with a lot of the starters. So I think he'll integrate perfectly. You know, Julian's a super talented player, an amazing scorer, an amazing shooter. Can really put the ball in the hoop at all three levels, can facilitate. So I like him as well. But they're two different players, but I think, you know, they've been playing basketball their whole life. It won't take them long to – and then I feel like we're an easy group to play with. They've watched us play. Guys kind of know their role. So I think that they would know what they're kind of going into. And, yeah, either way, whoever is that fifth guy in that starting lineup, I think it'll be an easy transition for him.
Michael, you had a short off season after you won the championship, and then last season you fell short. Do you feel like the team, and particularly yourself, will be more motivated this time around as you're chasing the title again?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say we weren't motivated last year because we, you know, when you play basketball competitively, you want to win. We wanted to win last year, but I think losing and seeing that we could lose in the Game 7 on home court and then have to sit on that all summer, have to sit on that all summer, it was tough. So I think it definitely is a good motivator. Yeah, going through those hard times and adversity, especially when you got to sit on it for months at a time, it can be good motivation.
Michael, I want to kind of re-ask the motivation thing too, but more personally, because your coach was quick to come out and defend any critics of how you struggled at times in that Minnesota series. Talk about how you were as big a part of the Lakers series as anyone. How good does it feel, I guess, to have that support from your coach right away and make sure that he knows, or you know, he's got your back? But then also, was that motivation for you, the struggles in the Minnesota series, you know, personally?
I mean, yeah, I appreciate Coach. I don't know exactly what he said, but, you know, I didn't need anyone to come to my back. I hold myself to a high standard, and I know I didn't perform and do what I needed to do in that series personally. You know, and they saw how I played in the Lakers series. They defended me different. They weren't helping off of me, so I wasn't getting the same shots. So they paid attention to the Lakers series. So it was a different series, but still, the standard I hold myself to, I didn't need anyone to say it wasn't my fault or anything. You know, I'm someone who, as much as the blame as I can take, I'll try to take. So that's kind of what I try to do, and that was a big motivator for me this summer. So, but I do appreciate Coach, you know, having support for his players for sure.
Michael, hey, Michael, it was an off season where you were completely healthy. I guess when you're that healthy, are there things you can work on that maybe you can, and what maybe did you add to your game because you were so healthy?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this offseason since I've been in the NBA have been about rehab and getting back on the court. But I've been able to kind of find a good groove and keeping my body healthy. And so I think it's just a lot more playing, a lot more player development, and kind of building on the foundation of what I have. It's not about playing catch-up. It wasn't about playing catch-up for me this offseason. It was just about building and getting better, getting stronger, getting more comfortable in tough situations, playing a lot of one-on-one. So I'm very thankful that after everything I've been through, I was able to have a fully healthy offseason.
Mike, there's been a lot of talk about the team generating more three-point opportunities this season. Is there anything you feel like you can do when you're on the court to maybe increase the number of threes you're getting?
Yeah, I think I definitely think I'm a volume three-point shooter, so I need to be looking for maybe one or two more three-pointers in the game, but also I need to mix in getting downhill, getting to the mid-range. Someone told me a stat that my mid-range percentage was up there for the league, so I feel very comfortable in the mid-range as well. But I think the biggest thing is being in elite shape conditionally, because then you can play the whole game and move off the ball and continue to be aggressive and continue to move and look for your shot. So I think being in really good shape and pushing myself during the preseason games to tire myself out and get in good shape will be really big for me as a scorer and a shooter to just be aggressive the whole game.
Michael, last media day, we asked if the team could change styles to maybe bend more towards your game, and you said we won a championship, no need to change. But last year, obviously, come up short. So do you feel there's new wrinkles the offense can add that highlight some of the things you do? And then secondly, playing with the second unit, now that's a different group here with Saric and Russell Westbrook. Is that something you look at and think, I might be able to help there with the second unit?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to the coaches, how they see fit. We got a lot of weapons, a lot of guys who are sacrificing for the betterment of the team. I definitely think even within my role, I can be better within my role and be more aggressive. And there's no reason why I can't take that 17 points a game in my current role or whatever it was to 20, It's just about being in better shape, being aggressive all game, getting to the free throw line more. But however the coaches want to utilize me is up to them. I think that, losing KCP, a shooter like him, there will be even more opportunity for me to look for my three-point shot. I think CB is going to be another fun guy to play with, a guy that can play make, a guy that can get it off the glass, push it, and look for me. I love playing with CB. And then I think, Russell, the way he sees the floor, is going to be really, really fun to play with. DJ looks in amazing shape, and when you got an athlete like DJ getting on the rim, it can open up a lot for shooters like me or Julian. So I'm really excited for the starting lineup, but I'm also excited to stagger and play some with those other guys. I think we got a really good mix of guys.
You mentioned getting stronger, and then you also talked about conditioning. Have you put on weight? Because you look a little bigger. Have you added muscle?
Thanks, man. I'm about 236, 237. So I'll probably play at 232, which is probably 5 pounds more. So it's pretty good.
You just mentioned Russell. What do you look forward for him bringing on the court intensity all the way across the spectrum?
Yeah, Russell's an amazing guy on and off the court. Off the court, he brings the energy every day, the enthusiasm to be on the court. On the court, he acts like the youngest guy on the court with his energy and his enthusiasm. So I watched them play pickup yesterday, and he just was all over the place. He looked amazing. So I think he's gonna definitely, bring a new energy to the team. It's a lot of guys who have been together for a lot of years. So to be adding new guys and new personalities is always amazing, especially someone like Russell, who has done everything you can do individually in the NBA and is specifically coming here to win a championship. So he's motivated. We're excited to play with him. I think it's going to be a really good fit. Cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
The reason why you entered the NBA draft and why you entered the NBA draft. Tell them, I got the first question.
Hello, guys. How are you? I'm not dealing with any of Russ's shenanigans today.
Next question. Hey, DeAndre.
What's your name and where are you reporting from?
Russell Westbrook. I'm reporting from Denver Nuggets practice facility.
Okay.
First question. Welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Russ.
I'm not sure of your history, but coming in draft, you and Russell, same draft class. I know you guys competed in college.
Right.
Not sure how many times or not. Can you walk me back to that moment when you guys did play each other in college and going to the draft, just to give the people some insight?
Yeah. It was a beautiful, March afternoon in Anaheim, California. We're playing the UCLA Bruins that are, just up the street. So you could probably sense there was going to be some cheating going on. But ultimately, we ended up losing the game to Russell. Well, Donald Sloan got fouled at the basket by Josh Shipp and Darren Collison. It was not called, obviously, because we were in Anaheim. So Russell and his team went on to advance, and I don't know why I keep doing this stuff. Okay. Can we get some real questions now?
DeAndre, as far as Russ said, he talked a lot with you to kind of get the pulse of the culture in Denver. Mm-hmm. What was your sales pitch, I guess, to him?
I told him to just get his ass over here. We needed him to come here and play. Russ is obviously a great player. His game and track record speaks for itself. I just felt like with a guy like Russ, his intensity, his demeanor, what he brings to the basketball floor on both ends of the court, I thought that he could definitely help us, and we were trying to pitch him that we needed him, and he was all on board with it. I think that, Russ brings a different culture and a different mindset to a team, a different energy. And I think for guys like Jamal and Peyton and Christian, Julian, guys like that, he is going to help them tremendously, in my opinion. And I think that he's going to be that burst of energy that we need on both sides of the floor.
DeAndre, from your perspective as a veteran leader, when you look at last season, trying to repeat how hard that was, condensed early season schedule, and then the battle in the West was really tough late. What was something that you kind of like took away from the attempt to repeat last year that this team needs to keep in mind this season?
Obviously, I think going back-to-back is extremely tough. There's been a handful of teams that have done it, and I think it's a really difficult thing to do. That's no excuse to, why we didn't win a championship last year. It's hard to win one time. But I think that we had a couple lapses last season. We dealt with some injuries. We dealt with some things where obviously we came up just short. We have to do a better job finishing games, in my opinion. But we learned from those mistakes, I feel like, and, going back and looking at the numbers and how we performed last year, I thought we did a really great job last season. We played great in the playoffs. We were top 10 offense and defensive team throughout the course of the season, and we just came up short. And I think that with the new additions on our team, we're looking to build on the things that we did last year and improve, and hopefully be the last team on the floor standing in June. That's our goal.
DeAndre, what's the pathway for a guy like you being an all-star, all-NBA guy to transitioning to a mentor and being a veteran leader in the locker room, and frankly, accepting that you're not going to play every night or every other night, and still being ready mentally and physically. How does that work for you?
Well, I think if you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, my ego would have been in the way. But as I've gotten older and I've experienced a lot of things, I feel like my ego is out of it, and I think that it's bigger than just me. I still love the game. I still love to compete. I still love to be around the guys and to help my teammates and see their success. And I think that you don't have to be on the floor necessarily to be able to help or see things and have an impact. But to answer your question, I feel like it's as long as the team is doing fine, it's okay with me. And there are nights where I am going to play. There are nights that I'm going to start, and it's you have to be ready. You have to be a professional throughout the course of this game in your career, and I feel like I've done that.
DeAndre, I wanted to ask you about Duran, somebody who you probably have gotten to know over the course of just these last couple months. When somebody, especially somebody young, suffers an injury like that, it can take them away from the team. It can kind of help them check out. How do you keep guys like that engaged and ready to go mentally?
You said who?
Duran Holmes.
Rookie. Rook. Yeah. Because he doesn't really have a name just yet. But Rook is I watched him a little bit throughout their practices before Summer League, and obviously he had a tough break with that. But I think that our team does a really great job of just including guys throughout the process, regardless of if they're injured or not. And his spirits have been high the past couple of days that I've been here. And we still laugh and joke and make fun and make him still do rookie stuff. He's off crutches, so he can walk around and do things that we need him to do. But I think just when you're injured, as long as you're around the team and you're still in the locker room, you still get that energy and you're not feeling isolated. I think that's the best part of that can help your rehab out a lot.
EJ, was it an inevitability you'd be back, or was there thoughts you'd look elsewhere, you'd maybe think about?
I just didn't clean out my locker, so I just was like, No, we had a conversation shortly after the season, and I knew this is where I wanted to come back and play. I knew we had some unfinished business. This is a great culture. It's a great city. I love the team, the fan base. So it was kind of like was a no-brainer for me. I really enjoyed my time here, and got some more memories to make. So, all right, y'all have a good one.
Jamal, welcome back. What is the feeling kind of coming back into the building and just getting ready to go, getting ready for another season?
It feels great. I think we're all excited and coming back refreshed mentally and ready to go.
Jamal, now that you had a summer to sit on it, what do you think is the biggest lesson for the team collectively from last year and for you personally for last year?
Just taking it day by day, one day at a time, bringing our best each and every day, and just kind of bringing that work ethic. We know what it takes to win a championship. It was tough to go back to back, and now we realize how tough that was. So going into this year with the better experience, better knowledge, and some new pieces as well.
Jamal, I know you mentioned before the Olympics that you were focused on Team Canada and wanted to wait on contract talks and all that. How, I guess, pleased are you that you're locked in Denver for the foreseeable future? And was there any point where you were not confident that a deal would get done, or were you pretty sure about it the whole time?
I was pretty confident, man. Pretty confident. I'm happy to be here.
Jamal, how much are you looking forward to playing with Russell Westbrook, and what does his energy provide to this team?
I think everybody knows what Russ brings to the table and the type of energy and passion he plays with. He's brought that everywhere he's gone. He's going to bring leadership here as well. So I think he's going to be really good for us. And just excited to get it going. Obviously, this is our first time seeing each other, so just excited to set foot on court and get things rolling.
Jamal, do you have any goals that are different this year than in previous years? And if so, what are they?
No, all the same.
Jamal, sorry to be the guy to ask, but how are you feeling physically, or is there going to be any limitations to start this short training camp?
No, feel good.
Jamal, can you, obviously Team Canada, you were with Team Canada, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Team Canada and something that you learned from there and bring to the team for this year?
Not really. Honestly, that's two different teams. I'm only with Team Canada for a month, so no, not really. Just excited to be here. Excited to get things rolling, man. Every season, every new season is a new opportunity for all of us. So we want to get going on the right foot and just have the right approach, especially early on.
Coach Malone mentioned you've talked to some of the young guys about urgency, about this window, I guess, for lack of a better word. Do you tell the new guys or tell the young guys about that as an emphasis for you and your window, and how does the contract and that being behind you affect that?
I don't understand the question. Say it again.
How important is this window for you? And because Coach Malone said you told the guys, look, you can rest in 20 years. We're in this window now.
Yeah, just like I said, it's a new opportunity for everybody, and just make the most of it. Don't take advantage of, or don't take it for granted. The opportunity that we have of winning right now, it doesn't come by often, and it doesn't happen everywhere. That was just my message to them, and I think as the players, as the young guys get older, they'll see that it's tougher to win in this league, and it's tough to, even for GMs, to create a team like this, that this well talented and that gets along this well, I think off the court as well. So I just said, just take advantage of the moment, and we got a chance to do some great things. Let's make the most of it.
Jamal, I believe you said last season one of your individual goals was to improve your individual defense. I wonder if you had any similar kind of goal this season. What would you like to get better at?
Obviously everything, but nothing that stands out in particular.
Jamal, Malone was saying that Julian's been in the gym pretty much every day this summer. I was just curious, sort of, if you've already seen a beginning to now development from him when he got drafted, and just sort of what stood out to him.
Yeah, I think he's just getting more comfortable. I think that's the biggest thing, is just getting comfortable handling the ball in situations and making reads, not feeling rushed or not feeling like the game is too fast like it is in college. But yeah, I mean, he's been hooping, and we expect that of him. He's a great talent, and his skill set has great potential. So I think the sky's the limit for him, and as long as he keeps working and stays committed to himself and his goals, he'll be just fine.
Jamal, what's it always like to not really talk to Joker a lot during the summer, and then see him on the first day, and then I saw he has a beard now, kind of? What do you think of that?
Yeah, we saw each other at the Olympics. He had a beard then, so I don't know.
Jamal, you'll be playing a lot more with Julian and Christian this year. How do each of those guys complement your game, and how can they help the team get to where you guys want to go?
Both are winners, man. They both know how to win and want to win, are hungry to win and get better. And they bring that to the team that they're on, man. They even in the huddles, they're not afraid to speak up or say something, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I can tell that they're going to be young leaders, just kind of coming into their own. So I've always expected great things from CB. And Julian's, just proving to everybody that, how lethal of a player he can be, especially in these coming years. Just needs some more experience, needs more playing time, needs to kind of go through the mistakes to have an even bigger leap. So, like I said, we're all really excited for those guys.
Jamal, I think this was your second summer in a row hanging out and working out with Alexander Volkanovski. Did I say that correctly? I'm just curious what you're hoping to get out of that as a competitor, or is that just more of a getaway from basketball, you love MMA, kind of other interests type of deal?
I love MMA. Obviously, it's cool to, my coaches are the best in the world, or former champs in the world, so I thought that was cool. And it's just refreshing, man. It's refreshing for me to go and do something else that I love. It's a lot of fun. I might have a career there after this, but I'm doing this right now.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Hey guys. Question for both of you. What was your off-season priorities in terms of what you worked on with your games, and where you're at now heading into camp?
For me, definitely a big point of emphasis was just being in the gym, shooting all summer. Obviously, I know that's what I need to improve on, especially playing on this team with somebody as talented as Nikola and Jamal and our other guys who like to facilitate. So I just spent all summer in the gym shooting with our shooting coach, Mike Penberthy, and then just lifting every day, working on a lot of things, strengthening my body, and just getting ready to play an 82-game season.
Say the same thing, just continue to shoot, get reps up, try to be as healthy as possible going into, training camp this year. I was a little banged up last year, so be healthy, continue to shoot, get reps up, and just continue to get better.
Hey guys, a lot of guys has left right now. This is your third year. How do you handle the responsibility to not be, the second year guys now, and now be more important to the first part of the season and to the team, of course?
Well, I think with both of us, we're both very mature. Even though me and him are only going into year 3, I think that we're very mature. We understand. And we just do a good job of listening. We got a lot of good vets, that have paved the way for us, and all we have had to do is listen. So I think that just coming into year 3, our goal is not to come across as year 3 players. We want to come across as young veterans and just try to be as, polished and mature as we can on the basketball court.
Hey guys, on your right for both of you, but I'll start with Peyton. You came in and let us know that Russell Westbrook's your hero, or your idol. What's it like to have him here, and then CB, for you to be able to learn from somebody? Your game isn't exactly the same, but he certainly attacks the rim as well as anyone around near your size. But P, let's start with you.
Yeah, just being from where we're from, he's one of the, he's one of the best to ever do it. He represents our area so well, and that's something that I look up to a lot, and I want to do a good job of as well in my career. But just seeing his, his path all the way from UCLA to where he is now, being in year 17, year 18, it's been lovely to watch, and it's really a full circle moment for me, being able to play with one of my childhood favorite players, idols. So, I'm glad to have him on the team. He's an amazing guy outside of the basketball court, and I think that he's definitely going to take our team to another level for sure.
I think it's a little different for me because P grew up in LA, but I grew up in Kansas, which Oklahoma City was, the closest team to us. So that was really cool, growing up getting to watch him. His passion for the game, his tenacity, it's unmatched. You don't see guys, that play hard every single night, 82 games, as long as he has. So obviously, I got to learn from that. I got to take those things. I think there's a lot I can learn from him. So it's really cool that I get to play with him. Getting to talk with him has been cool. And then just even seeing the energy switch up for the one day, that we got to play pickup with him has been great, man. His energy's going to be really good for us, especially in the regular season, when we got ups and downs. I think that, he can hold guys accountable. He's a guy that people want to listen to because he's been in the leagues for so long. So not only me, taking things from him and learning from him will be good, but I think our team will benefit a lot just from having his energy and, having his leadership.
For both of you guys over here, just KCP, obviously a big loss for the team. He's been one of the starters for this team for the last couple of years. Just what is important about replacing that kind of production and just the player that he was in the starting group for you guys?
Yeah, I think obviously KCP was great for us. I mean, he was great to both of us. I think I can speak for both of us on that. Just as a person, a guy that never held anything back from us. Always tried to teach us as he went, and I think I learned a lot from him. I know P did too. So he was obviously a great vet when he was here for us. But trying to replace him, I think we got guys that can do it. Whether it's me, Julian, P, the combination of all three of us, filling his role. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about shooting, so we need to shoot the ball well. But I think as far as defense goes, I think we have that covered too. So we learned a lot from him, and hopefully we can take what we learned, in our 2 years with him, and apply that and be ready for that role.
Losing KCP was big. Because it's hard to replace good people, and he was genuinely a good guy, taught us a lot, like CB said, on and off the court. And he's just one of those people who was a vocal leader for us, during my time here. So it's definitely, big to lose him. But I think that it opens up opportunity for all of us to kind of speak up as well, be more vocal, be leaders, and just kind of implement the things that he taught us.
Peyton, you mentioned the work you put into your shot, and I'm just curious, was there any tweaking of the form, or was it just a ton of repetitions? And I guess, what can you tell us about the work that you put into the shot?
Really just a ton of repetition. I didn't change too much. One thing I'm focused on is, not dipping as much when I catch. I have naturally long arms, so, that's something that I've just always done. But it definitely leaves less room for error when you do that. And it also, just makes the shot more accurate altogether. So that's something that I've been working on. But, I think my form is good. I think my form is pretty. And I'm going to just, I've been getting a lot of reps up, so I'm going to just stick with it. Yep.
Primarily for Christian, but Peyton also. Christian, people always say, well, Christian has to shoot the three better. And then I always respond, hey, he shot over 38% last season. I kind of described you as a careful three-point shooter. You weren't going to. Can you just talk about your mindset this season? If you were to start, would you have a different mindset in terms of how many you would shoot and what kinds of areas you'd like to get to?
I think I have increased minutes, and I think that naturally I'm not going to change how I play or who I am. I think that I'm going to shoot the open ones. I'm going to shoot the good ones. I'm not going to take the bad ones. And just be who I am. Like you said, I think I shot a really good percentage. I want to shoot a higher percentage this year, but with more volume. I think that with more minutes, I get more opportunity to shoot more threes. But when I'm open, take them. When I'm not, drive it. So don't try to change too much. Try to shoot a higher percentage again. But it's definitely not a percentage thing I'm worried about. Just making sure I'm taking the ones, when Nikola and Jamal and those guys set me up.
follow-up for Peyton. Calvin had said you shot 29% last year. He wants the goal to be at least 35% this season. I'm sure you're on board with that. Can you get to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had some months last year where I did shoot that. So I think for me, it's just about finding a common ground and being consistent. For me, the three has always been a part of my game. You know, it's an adjustment moving back to the NBA three-point line and shooting it with confidence and shooting it well. But I think for me, it's just about continuing to, you know, shoot them when they're open, like CB said, take what the defense gives me, and I'm confident in that shot 7 days out of the week.
For both you guys, who are you rooting for, Team USA or Team Serbia in the Olympics? And could you find yourself and see yourselves a goal playing for Team USA in the years to come? But I was wondering if you were as conflicted as a lot of people were in Denver watching that game.
Well, you know, I had a lot of, you know, relationships with guys on both teams. So for me, I was more so rooting for the individual success of all my guys. Obviously, it's nice to see Team USA take home the win, but to see that masterclass that Nikola put on for the entire Olympics, it was just something that, you know, I guess me and CB are used to seeing at this point, but to do it on the biggest stage in the world and with all the eyes on you, I mean, it was just another testament to how great a player he is. So I was definitely proud of Nikola for that.
I'll say the same thing. You know, it was fun watching Nikola and his run. Obviously, he was great, and he always is. So the Olympics were really fun, and then getting to see, you know, the moment Steph had, you know, in the last game was really cool too. So I enjoyed different moments of it. Obviously, I'm rooting for Nikola, but I'm also, you know, rooting for us to win. So it was kind of conflicting, like you said.
You guys play someday.
I mean, I think that's a big thing for everybody. Everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to represent their country, and everybody takes pride in those things. So that'd be really cool, obviously. I'd rather win an NBA championship for right now, so I'm more focused on that. But, you know, it's obviously a really cool moment anytime you get to do that.
Yeah, I agree with everything he said.
What's the transition like for you guys to go from being young guys learning on the job in your first 2 years to this year where, you know, you guys are going to have to play an increased role, but, you know, not just sporadically, you know, pretty much every night?
I think it's fun. I think it's fun to see the progression of things as the years go by. You know, every year for me has been a different challenge and things that I kind of take personally and things that I want to accomplish in the season. But for me now being in year 3, it finally feels like everything is slowed down. Feels like it's just basketball. You know, last year I had to play a role, and, you know, most games I came in, I executed the way I was supposed to. But there was definitely some things that I wanted to get better at. So this year, I'm just making sure that I'm cognizant of all the things that I wanted to work on this summer, and I implement them on the court.
Yeah, I think I look forward to the challenge too. I think that, like he said, you know, it's really fun. You know, when you get to do those things and you have these opportunities this young. But I'm definitely still young. You know, I'm definitely still learning. I don't want to sit here and act like I've figured it out in my first 2 years. So, you know, there's still going to be a learning curve. It's still a process. It's a good thing we added Russ. You know, I can learn a lot from him. I think take things from his game and just continue to try to soak up all these things and, you know, while, you know, producing and you know, while getting better, I think is really important. So I'm really excited for that opportunity. I'm really excited just to, you know, be out there to get to compete every single night. You know, at a high level, and hopefully it leads to team success.
For both you guys, Coach Malone mentioned not only three-point shooting, but transition offense as a key for you guys in improving this year. Obviously, that's big for both of you because, you know, as defenders, you got to get to the stops. How do you guys get better in that area, both of you individually, just getting better at transition offense, making sure you convert on some of those chances?
Yeah, I think it's night and day, honestly, for both of us. You know, watching CB play and then knowing how I play, I think we're both really good athletes. Like you said, we both defend, we both can rebound the ball, and we both can handle it. So it's something that you would think should be easy, but those first couple of years, I think the hardest part for me personally was just slowing down and making the right reads. So, I mean, this year I'm doing a way better job of that. And, I mean, my goal with the transition game is to get it to where it's almost a guaranteed 2 points or go to the line or an and one. So I think that both of us are, you know, we've gotten a lot better in that regard. And I think this year is going to be special, especially on the break with me, Russ, him, Julian. You know, we got some young horses, but we also got some guys who have played for 15 years plus. So I think that it'll be fun to watch.
Question for both of you guys. You talked about establishing yourself in year 3, being more like veterans. What, in your few years here, have you taken away from guys like Nikola and Jamal that will help you do that? One big thing you've learned from them.
I think you try to take a little something from everybody. Everybody has a different routine. Everybody approaches their routine differently. I think Nikola, you take certain things from him as far as work ethic, as far as being in the training room. Jamal's competitiveness. Every night that he's out there, he's competing. So you take different things from everybody. Jeff Green has a certain routine. He carries around a big water jug. It's just little things. You try to take something from everybody. And like I said, adding Russ, obviously Russ will have his things that he brings that we're going to take a little bit from him. So it's not trying to take one thing from everybody. It's take something from each person. And I think that Ish Smith had an ice bath he did every day. So it was like just little things that I think I've seen guys do day in and day out. That there's a reason they've been in the league for that long. There's a reason DJ's been in the league for as long as he has. So you just got to look at those things, look at their routine, and take little things from each one of them.
I was curious, both of you are regarded as very good defenders, particularly against big guys, strong guards. I'm curious, now with KCP gone, he would always get the Steph Curry assignment or the Ja Morant or the smaller guards. Can each of you just talk briefly about the challenge of guarding, like speedier guards on the perimeter?
Honestly, I don't think either one of us will have a really big problem. I think we're both pretty agile, both pretty laterally quick. And just like I said, having 2 years under my belt, just knowing guys' tendencies, watching a lot of film, and having a feel for guys already is going to help a lot. But with those smaller guys, I never, worry too much about it. I feel like I can guard out on the perimeter. Probably I'm almost more comfortable guarding out on the perimeter than I am guarding Bam Adebayo or Giannis or somebody who's just so physically imposing. There's really anything you can't do about it. So those guys are hard for anyone to guard. Ja Morant, De'Aaron Fox. When you're talking about guys like that, it's hard for guys like Fred VanVleet to guard that. So me being bigger is definitely I'm at a disadvantage sometimes. But I think that I take every challenge that Coach gives me on a night in, night out basis, and I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, I think in my few years and his few years, I think we've both guarded those guys already. We haven't had as many reps as Pope, obviously did, and Pope was so good at guarding guys like you said, Steph. But we've watched it, we've learned from that, and we've also got our fair share of reps on those guys too. So it won't be new to us. It'll just be new doing it every single night for the amount of minutes we're going to do it. So I'm just looking forward, to more opportunity and more chances to showcase what we can both do, on, whoever it is.
Thanks, guys.
What's up? I'm good. How you?
Is it a chip on your shoulder that we almost just forgot you?
Nah, man. It's been a long morning, bro. I'm ready to go home, too.
Malone said that you were in the gym pretty much every day this offseason. Just what were kind of your priorities and what were you hoping to work on most after Summer League?
Obviously, everybody knows KCP's departure, and, there's obviously a lot of opportunity there for the taking. So once I seen that opportunity was there, bro, I had to put my best foot forward and to, put myself in a position where I can contribute on a nightly basis. So if it was being in here every day during the summer, then that's something that I wanted to do, so I was here.
Julian, are there specific things that you change or an approach you take? Because year one, you're just trying to figure out how you fit in. These guys just won the championship too. Okay, now you've been through all of it and the disappointment of playoff loss, and there's a starting spot up for grabs. So I guess how do you change the approach to what you do in year two?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I have a completely different mindset, going into year two. Obviously, year one, I didn't know what to expect, and right now, I want to be able to make an impact for this ball club. So that's where my mind's at, and, my mindset's completely shifted. I feel like I'm a more confident, more aggressive person and player, so I feel like it's helped me, and I'm just excited to, be able to show everybody else.
Julian, are there any moments maybe during this offseason when you feel like something clicked for you? You feel like something has made a little bit more sense, or the game has slowed down a little bit? Is there anything like that that you can point to?
I feel like it was more so when I had got injured during my rookie year. In January, I had to sit down for 6 to 8 weeks, and I kind of got to reset. Everything had been moving so fast since draft night that you never really get a chance to gather yourself or kind of just take a deep breath. So when I got injured, I kind of got to do that, and that's when I kind of found my NBA speed, I found my NBA confidence, my groove, just being in here, just being in here, repping it out, working out with the coaches every day, and competing with the guys. So yeah.
Julian, that kind of an innocuous thing, but did it make you feel good? That you were good enough in summer league that you were able to kind of sit out the last few.
Yeah, obviously that was cool, but I was going into summer league with the impression and mindset to play in every single game, and that's just how I was wired and cut for that. So obviously after two, the staff and the front office having enough confidence in me to pull me, obviously it meant something to me internally, but it didn't really slow me down in terms of what my main goal was, because my goals didn't end with playing good at summer league. It ended with contributing in the real time, in regular season, and in the playoffs.
Julian, kind of building on that, what are your goals as a shooter? Do you have a benchmark in mind, and whether it's percentage-wise or attempts per game that you'd like to hit this season?
Obviously the percentages that I shot last year aren't really a good example of who I am as a shooter, and I know that, and that's all that really matters to me. You can play the numbers game and anything like that, but I know at the end of the day I'm a shooter, and I know that things are going to improve percentage-wise. But the main thing is, we were 30th in attempts last year, and just being able to be another guy that can space the floor for guys like Jamal and Nikola. Those guys are offensive juggernauts. So if I can space the defense to the 4-point line instead of the 3-point line, then they got all the space in the world to work and operate, and everybody else gets going.
Your coach does not give trust lightly. What do you feel you have to do to have Michael Malone's trust, knowing where this franchise wants to be and where you want to help take it?
To continue to gain trust of my coaches is definitely just continuing to improve on the defensive end of the ball. Offensively, I feel like I know where I'm at and I know what I can bring to the team, and I'm confident on that end of the floor, and I'm confident on defense as well. It's just a matter of showing everybody that I've made the improvements, and I don't see myself being a guy that teams will look at to exploit a matchup as the season goes on.
Julian, I think most people assume that Christian Braun's just going to step into that fifth starter position for KCP. But Michael Malone, the coach, has said, I'm going to play the best guy. I like to see man-to-man competition. Would you like to be a starter? Would that be a goal for you, or is it making the rotation? Where are your specific goals for something like that?
Obviously being a starter in the NBA is something that I've envisioned in my when I was a kid. Yay high, hearing my name getting called in the arena. But that's something that's not make or break for my season. Obviously, I'm going to compete to the very end to try and get the spot. But, if I'm coming off the bench, that's perfectly fine, and that's the role that I'm going to attack. I've never been one to, be upset with what role is given to me. I'm going to get the role that I earn, and that's how I feel.
And then to follow up, does it maybe change the way each practice is going to go when you and CB are matched up, knowing that you're obviously you want to both make each other better, make the team better, but that you're battling for an open spot?
Yeah, me and CB have gotten an opportunity to, be in here, play pickup games against each other. So we've been battling all summer. And it's one of them things where me and CB are so close off the floor that we're able to, come on the court, compete at a high level, and then put it and leave it on the court and go be friends when we get back to the locker room. So, it's a healthy competition for sure.
Julian, you mentioned spacing out to the 4-point line for Jamal, for Nikola. Just how important is it to understand how to play around those two, just given that they've been a part of things for this team for as long as possible? What makes it so how you can be impactful playing around those guys specifically?
I feel like at the end of the day, it's just making those guys' lives easier. Defenses and the scouts are going to be focused on them every single time we go out. We know that, they know that. And especially, with Nikola, they're going to send as much as they can to try to stop or slow him down. So, just being an outlet for those guys, not having to force anything. Nikola and Jamal are both guys who are willing passers, and they'll get off of it if a guy's open. So I feel like the whole team operates better when there's more spacing on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect timing. Thanks, bro.
Nice.
I guess my slow.
And it looked fresh.
When you hurt yourself and you're out all season.
Sorry. Can you repeat? Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. When you're out all season, and there's some dark moments. When you have that kind of an injury. So, to be here today, what does that feel like? And just knowing that you're clear to play, and that you being back is kind of here.
It feels good. I'm not gonna lie. Luckily, I had a chance to play the qualifiers, and that was a kind of a stepping stone to be here today. But my injury was part of sports. I didn't take it too much to heart. I just know from the moment I got hurt that surgery is gonna be soon, and I started rehabbing the next day. But I was stress-free. You didn't need to worry about nothing else but the knee. And, I and the team here did a great job of getting the knee ready so I can perform.
You guys bringing in Dario Saric to the front court rotation this year. I know you've talked to him, Vlatko especially. Zeke, have you guys had an opportunity to talk to Dario, to get to know him a little bit more, just now that he's a part of the group?
Want me to start?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a veteran, brings veteran presence, versatile player, talented, selfless as well, plays the right way, playmaker. So, I'm excited to play with him. We've had a few open runs, just scrimmaging back and forth, and he's looked great in those, shot the ball well, passed well. So, yeah, he's definitely going to be a great piece in addition for us this season.
Yeah, to Zeke's point, I've talked to him. Obviously, we speak the same language, so we clicked right away. And I know Dario since I was a kid, and what he did in Cibona and on that MVP level that he was in Adriatic League and everything. So obviously, we just have to find a right system for him here and fit him good with the second unit, and because pretty sure he's going to be the joker of the second unit.
A question for both of you. Vlatko, you're back. Are you completely healed? Are you 100% now? And Zeke, I know you've had some issues with injuries. Where are you now physically?
I am 100% healed, yes.
Yeah, I'm 100% as well. We've been playing, both of us, back and forth, guarding each other. And so, I can definitely attest to what he's saying, that he's definitely 100%, so yeah.
Zeke, what was the emphasis of your skill development this offseason? What were you focused on improving?
Yeah, for me, just ball handling and shooting, working on my playmaking ability and being able to attack from the perimeter, shoot the ball, things like that.
Vlatko, I know you didn't shoot the ball as well as you wanted to at qualifying, obviously. Was that sort of the main emphasis for you between then and now, or what have you kind of hoped to work on as you've completed the process of getting back this offseason?
Yeah, obviously I had the qualifiers that I had, and I'm not most proud of that one. But what I'm most focusing on this year would probably be defense and three-pointer for sure.
Just for both of you guys, for both of you guys, Russell Westbrook now becomes a part of the team and assumably part of the second unit. Just having watched him, having seen him play over the years, just what do you have to do in order to complement his game, his style of play, and how does that sort of change how the bench has looked over the course of these last couple of years?
Just the pace of play he plays with, and you just got to be, ready for that pass at all times. Him coming here, understanding that, okay, maybe I'm going to have to be oriented more of, a pass-first point guard than more of a scoring, but he's been here for such a long time, and I think we all know what he can bring. But like I said before, the pace of play and just be ready to shoot it whenever he finds you.
Yeah, to add on to that, we have a lot of young guys in that second unit, and I think Westbrook plays with a lot of intensity and a lot of speed and the pace, and so I think that's just going to play to our strengths. I think he'll fit right in with those guys, and I think that it's going to be fun.
Zeke, you were in and out of the rotation last year, obviously. What's kind of been the message from the coaching staff, front office, whoever, in terms of, I guess, establishing a little more consistency this season?
Yeah, I mean, just go in and play defense, play hard, do the thing, be the glue guy, be versatile, play to your strengths, things like that, and yeah.
Zeke, you took a lot of threes early on in your career and a little bit fewer the last couple. Where do you think you're going to be this season? Did the coaching staff talk to you about what they want in terms of volume from the three-point shot?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. I mean, whatever position they put me in, whether that be the 5, whether it be the 4, wherever I'm at on the court. I mean, these past couple of years I've been more in the paint. In my first couple of years I was more on the perimeter. So, I mean, wherever they put me at, I'm just going to go out there and play my hardest, so yeah.
And this question's for either of you. Do you get a sense after kind of losing the way that the team did last year, do you get a sense that sort of has changed the hunger level, the emphasis on this particular season, or is it just kind of a reset and getting back to what you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year hurt. We knew we were capable of winning it all. We had just done it the previous year, and that was our mindset going into last year. So that hurt a lot. We knew we were better than what we played. We were a little inconsistent. And so that does sting when you know you're supposed to win and you don't. And so, yeah, we're more motivated than ever. We've had that taste of what it feels like, and right now we want to get back to that, to be the world champs again, so yeah.
I say, don't put too much pressure on yourself because you're going to burn after if you can't handle it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, first of all, welcome to the team. Welcome to Denver. What are you each maybe individually hoping to get out of the training camp and the preseason experience with the Nuggets?
I'll go ahead. I'll say just learn from the vets. This is my first year being a pro. Just learn from them, get better, and keep up, compete at the highest level that I possibly can. So,
I'd agree with that. Mostly just taking it day by day, just gaining some experience and just learning from them. I mean, they've been here for years, and just really learning the new pace, the new speed, the new game, and really just taking everything away I can.
Yeah, just what these guys said, just getting used to the pace, just being able to learn from vets, really just grow, just get a head start for our season with the Grand Rapids. So,
what's it been like to be around Michael Malone, and what has kind of his, I guess, teaching approach been for each of you?
He's been really chill. He's been really cool. I'll make a mistake. He'll pull me to the side and tell me where I need to be better and things like that. He communicates with us like we've been on part of the team for years. So we have a good connection right now. So hopefully that continues to build on.
I think that's been something that's been really cool to see, is just his relationship with the players and how he builds it. You can see that that's where his foundation is just, getting to know him and, loving him. And so going from there and then just also hearing his experience and just his insight and coaching us, I mean, you can tell there's a side he wants the best out of us and the best for this team.
Jameer, what can you take from, all of the years that you spent in the Big Ten, and, just kind of transitioning to that to bringing it to training camp, bringing it to the league, and especially, after the performance that you had in Summer League?
Yeah, just spending 5 years in college, just, having that experience, just being able to transfer over to this level, just trying to come in a little bit, more mature, being able to, pick up on things quicker, and really just being ready to go, ready to work, and, ready to learn. So, just being a leader, from 5 years in college, and then being able to, have the opportunity to play Summer League, was great for my development.
This question is for all of you. I'll start with Jalen. What was maybe something that Calvin and maybe something that Michael Malone, when they're talking to you guys, that they're hoping that you bring to your game, that you add to your game, improve in your game over the course of this season with Grand Rapids?
We haven't really got to that point yet, but from what I would say, probably just be more physical, be a better rebounder, and be great at those things, and everything else will come natural.
I think for me, it's just consistency. At this level, you got to be consistent day in and day out, especially with, playing 82 games and then, the post. You got to be able to show up the same every single day. So that's been something that, whether that's with the shot, whether that's with the energy, rebound, and all this stuff, just control what you can control, and then just be consistent in everything you do, even your daily habits.
Yeah, for me, they've been knowing me about, just being a consistent shooter, my pace up and down the floor, being able to control the tempo, really just, being able to get after it, being a pest on defense as well.
For Jalen, I know Auburn has kind of improved at getting guys into the league a little bit more over the last few years. I'm curious if you've been in touch with Jabari or with Walker at all, sort of about the experience of going into camp.
I stay in touch with Jabari and JT Thor a lot more because we played the same positions at Auburn, so we related a lot more. We hung out a lot more, so I stay in touch with them for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
This question is for Jameer. Just what could you take away from your Summer League performance, and just take us through that experience?
Yeah, all of our first times in Summer League, so it was a great experience. Being able to play against other great players, and also compete against great players. Seeing guys, while you're growing up, seeing their accolades and stuff, actually being able to go out and compete against them was a great opportunity. And just looking at the game, looking at the tempo, the spacing, all of that played a factor, in our growth. So I'm grateful for that experience.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was a big focus from the coaching staff for you to work on this summer, and how did that go? What's been the kind of growth in your game?
Yeah, it's been really good. I was just focusing on trying to get my shot off quicker, really just work on all aspects of my game, but shot off quicker, putting it on the floor a little bit more, continue to work on my body, defense, everything. So, yeah, it's been a good offseason.
Hunter, you're number 5 now. I'm curious what that conversation was between you and Russ, and just what led you to choose number 5.
So I wore number 5 in college. So when KCP left, I was trying to get number 5, and it ended up Russ was coming in and wanted number 4, and it kind of just happened organically.
What were some of the you went to Summer League, you played Summer League, and go back, you start playing here. Just what were some of the things individually that you were focusing on just working on, and is it more the shot, is it the defense, is it movements? How did that process go when you got back from Summer League?
Yeah, I took about maybe a week or two after Summer League, and then we got right back here, and I've been getting after it. So, like I said, man, just working on all aspects, whether that be getting the shot off quicker, working at shooting on the move, just being more consistent with that, putting it on the floor, working on my body. So,
Hunter, DeAndre said that just because Duran is injured doesn't mean that he can't still take on some rookie responsibilities and stuff. What are you kind of looking forward to see him do as a rookie, whether it's the backpack kind of thing, and then obviously just terrible luck for him with the timing of that injury and everything? how can you guys kind of keep him engaged and keep him part of this young group of guys, even though he's not able to contribute on the floor?
Yeah, obviously we all hate it for Duran, man. Just in the short time I've known him, he's a phenomenal player and he's a phenomenal person. So you really hate to see something like that happen to a guy like that. And, he was getting ready to have a really big year for us. So, but, I mean, he'll be fine. He's been working hard in his rehab and everything. But, I think it'll just happen organically. Like, we're not going to have to force making him a part of things. Like, he's obviously a part of this team, a part of this younger unit. So, I mean, it's just going to happen organically.
Obviously, without KCP now, there's a hole in that kind of starting lineup position. Just when a team loses a guy that they've relied upon for a long time, what are some of the things that the entire collective maybe looks to try to bring in his place?
Yeah, I mean, obviously KCP was huge for us. You never want to see a guy like that go, but obviously that's part of the business. And, it's next man up mentality. Everyone's got to step up and try and fill that void. And I think that's something we'll be able to do. And, I think we just got to, take it one day at a time, continue to try to get better, and I think it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, I was curious. With Vlatko coming back, you've got Dario here. It seems the issue for you is just getting playing time. How do you see yourself getting playing time on a team that's so deep?
Yeah, man, I try not to overthink it. I just try and, like I said, go out there, get better every day, and whatever opportunities I get, try and make the most of them. So.
Hunter, just kind of getting back into the building with everyone, what has kind of, I guess, been the general atmosphere of everyone? Is there a different hunger than maybe when you came in as a rookie, just knowing the way that things ended for you guys last season?
Yeah, I think obviously that loss in Game 7 to Minnesota really hurt, and I think we're, as a unit, really looking forward to getting back out there and, kind of redeeming ourselves. We're going to take that pain we felt and, use that this season as motivation. So. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Trey, what was your biggest takeaway from Summer League, and then how did that impact how you spent the rest of your summer in the gym?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway from Summer League was just, the confidence portion, being able to kind of get my feet wet with just a little feel of how it feels to play the NBA game and the type of pace and the type of purpose that everybody plays with at this other level. And, I mean, the biggest thing for me this summer was just building on it, continue to work on my game and kind of making sure that those things kind of incorporate into real game situations, whether it be playing 5-on-5 or just, just playing against the coaches.
Trey, Michael Malone told us that he was a big fan of your game just early on in the offseason. What does it mean to have confidence from a coaching staff, and what does it mean to kind of take that confidence into a training camp atmosphere where you're competing?
Yeah, it's a blessing. I mean, not a lot of players get to go into training camp knowing that their head coach wants them to be aggressive and to be able to have that green light to play their game. So for me, it's just one of those big things of just trying to make sure that I go in there, play the way that I know how, not doing too much, just making sure I'm finding a way to get on the court and impact winning.
And for those that are still learning your game, just how would you describe yourself to Nuggets fans that are just tuning in today?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a playmaker, whether it be on or off the ball. I think that I can handle the ball. I like to score. I'm just a very aggressive player, but I like to make plays for myself and my teammates.
What are you hoping to, I guess, gain from the experience of being in a backcourt with Jamal Murray and now Russell Westbrook too? What do you kind of hope to get and learn from that?
Yeah, I just want to learn how those guys are able to stay in the league for so long. I know that obviously they're great players. Each have had great primes, and I think that they are going to be big pieces for us this year. So I'm just going to, just kind of be able to pick their brains and figure out ways that I can, impact winning and be able to hopefully be able to play in the league as long as they have, and being able to, just continue to grow my game and make sure that I'm able to play good at an NBA level.
A few years back, Ty Lawson told me one time when he was a rookie, one thing he had to make an adjustment too. He was a smaller guard, is how lengthy the players are and how you kind of have to adjust your shots in terms of scoring in the paint. I'm wondering, has anything surprised you when you're working out with the main guys at how quick they are, how fast they are, how big they are, or whatever?
Yeah, obviously the physicality. Everybody at this level is pretty athletic, very, very long, lengthy. So, I mean, for me, it's either having to, when I'm getting to the lane, like you said, having to make either floaters, having to stop early, make floaters, or having to make quick layups and things of that sort, because obviously you have guys like DJ, P. Watt, who are just freak athletes and have freaky length and things like that you have to go up and get to try to finish up against every day. So. Appreciate it.
Thank you.